Well, if I want to make a little pool farm to actually, have enough resources to create the bee farm and whatnot, which I need in order to start creating my base, we're gonna need to go someplace pretty. And so let me take you there. Meanwhile, we can talk about my latest pet peeve, which is no longer my latest because it's been a while, but let's talk about Only Murders in the Building, Season 5. So, just a heads up, there will be spoilers in this for the show, so if you plan to watch it, maybe don't watch this video. I'll show you the pretty place next video where I'm gonna talk about something that has nothing to spoil, so yippee. So don't worry about that. I could have taken my portal. Either way, yeah. The latest season of All the Murders in the Building has got to be one of my least favorite in the show so far. I just didn't enjoy it at all. And I don't entirely know all the reasons for it, but I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that, like, I don't know. They kind of wanted the antagonists to be like, I don't know. It's weird. So basically, if you don't know Only Murders in the Building and proceeded to watch, it's a show about three people. They live in a building. One day there's a murder in the building, and so they start figuring it out. But because they're all fans of like true crime podcasts, they eventually end up opening their own podcasts. And that's pretty much it. And so with their own little podcast, they just kind of talk about shit. And it's just nice to see them talk about stuff. It's just nice. No, the mysteries have been genuinely good so far. Every season has left me feeling differently. Like season one to me is still spectacular, but then, like, even though season two didn't entirely convince me, season three kind of brought it all around. Like season three actually made me go, huh? And then season four I actually really, really liked because it's setting up all of these things. So start season five, uh, Lester, who is the doorman of the building, this recurrent character that's appeared many, many times, he dies. Like that's a big character to kill. And then it's like, okay, this is a really interesting setup because I like the idea of Lester being the victim. There's a character that so far has represented the building very well, and the building has been steadily declining because of all the murders that are happening each season. An element about the show that I really like, I can't deny. It's like it makes sense that the building's going to shit with all the murder in it. Because like, who wants to live in a murder building? But then I don't think they did anything. Whoa, that mushroom! I don't think they did anything really particularly cool with um whatever they wanted to show us about Lester. It's like this is a big character to kill, and then the murder ends up being like, oh, he had ties to the mafia, and so the mafia didn't kill him. It was some billionaires, I guess. That's it. That's like, I feel like the mystery for Lester, the doorman of the building, deserved way better. Stop it. To me, it should have been like a big moment. Lester, the doorman of the building, is dying. So might as well. Oh, oh, oh. I'm worried. Um, is there another chest around here? I think there should be, right? There should be two. Just don't know where. Oh, oh. There's no bamboo in the place. There's no bamboo in the place, and I don't want to go to the nearest bamboo forest. It's like 1,000 blocks away. Oh no. Oh no. Well, at least we have the pretty sight. Observe. the pretty side up there. It is rather pretty. It's like, sideline greater than. Gotta love it. Love to see it. Well, nothing to it but to go to the jungle while I talk about the season, because, oh boy. Didn't really want to do this, but I guess this is where we are now. On a long one, on a long trip. Don't you just love Minecraft world generation sometimes? Don't you just wish me doing things without getting an elytra when that would have made everything so much easier? For starters, I feel like they really blundered like the main trio this season, because when you think about the arcs that we're getting for them, like the arcs we're getting aren't particularly good. We're getting like a pretty good arc for Oliver. Oliver's always been like the one that has the most to do plot wise with like an arc and everything. They actually do have something to do with him. So at least because he has something to do, he's not as lost. But then Mabel and Charles, they don't really have anything to do. And I think this is most notable in the fact that like they want to start giving Charles an arc, because so far up to now he has had nothing to do in the story, and it's like, okay, we need to make him a compelling character some way, and we need to give him some sort of arc. And so they're going off and giving him the arc. And like, I don't think it's bad that they're trying to give him an arc. I like that. Then the arc they chose on is, guy is sad because everyone he ever tries to date is actually the biggest criminal in all of the land. On the one hand, it's really funny comedy, but on the other hand, it doesn't feel quite right. And then also there's this aspect about him having to learn that he's not the women he's with and whatnot. And it's like, is this really the arc you settled on for him? I mean, it's the first time we do see an arc, because at least even the show acknowledges it kind of aggressively. Like the other two characters, dead ass go like, "Oh, but how weird is it that you've never had an arc, Mr. Charles?" And Charles just goes like, "Yep." It's clear that up to now it has not been a priority, and so now that they actually have to give him an arc, they don't know what the heck to do. Like, fair. I wouldn't know what to do either. I'm not gonna lie. It is a complex character and it's a difficult situation with the character. So that stood out like a sore thumb, but it wasn't all too bad. Like, I can get angry at it and be like, oh no, I didn't like it. I liked it well enough. It's not the perfect arc. And in a similar like area, you have the fact that they don't know what to do with Mabel. So they're also trying to set up a Mabel with a romantic interest, and it's like, that's the only way you know how to do it. Also, hi jungle. This is what we've been looking for, the tiniest jungle imaginable. But it should have some bamboo. Do you really not know how to do character arcs unless you have some romantic bit? The birds with what's her name? What's the name of the character? I forgot their name. Mabel. The things with her and her arc that I don't really dislike was the whole Thea thing. I actually really like the whole Thea thing. Thea herself is a really fun character. And I love the whole, like, the jokes around her naming herself Thea, because it's just super aggressively and in your face search engine optimized to the point where it's just full on comedic that her name's just The. It's really just a joke about modern artists often being like industry plants, almost very clearly. Hey, should I get some? I should take some stuff like this from to home, right? Just a little bit. So I definitely think that aspect was pretty well done. It's just I wish they break away a little bit from the whole, you know, romantic relationship arcs. Because while I do like arcs that revolve romantic relationships, I think they've currently been overdone with Only Murders. And I think doing something differently would be like preferred. I was talking about Chrissy's girlfriend last time and didn't bring up his status as preferred lane. The actual case itself is another one of those aspects that did not really click for me in like a particularly strong manner. I don't think it was bad case. Like I had my fun with it, but I don't know. It's so busy. Okay, so here's a thing that really pivoted me up about the season. This season, most of all, is really, really, really busy being like a season of television that wants to be relevant. Don't get me wrong, it's not bad when shows want to be relevant and talk about like real world issues. And I think the real world issues that they're decided to tackle are fine. Like there's an arc about we're trying to replace the recently deceased doorman with a robot because robots are cheaper and faster, and then the new doorman that's been the trainee for the doorman position doesn't know what the heck to do because well he's just coming into this murder building and now he has to just be there, I guess, and do stuff. It makes sense to have like that be a character. And then there's also another issue that they decided to discuss with the culprits this season. They're trying to put out a casino that's been always under the Arconia. And I like the idea of like, and they found that there's actually a casino underneath the Arconia because the Arconia has many secrets and they're figuring out all the secrets, That, I mean, I'm into the idea of that. Keep finding them secrets. But then it's like you're dropping everything interesting that season 4 and season 3 have set up. Season 3 maybe not so much, but season 4 did have the whole like season 4 so far has been like the only point where I feel like it's kind of on par with season 1. And season 4 does bring it back, right? It does come back with some strength to just really give us the world and the characters and whatnot. I like season 4 because the case felt appropriate. It focused on Charles, which why didn't you put his development there? Why is it here? But at least the case was good. It had like twists. Some of them were a little bit like expected, but some others were pretty good. You can admit it. It was a pretty good season of television. But I'm not sure how that compares to like say I don't know how that compares to season 5, where season 5 just isn't it, chief. It just isn't it. You get this case that should be super important and you're too busy talking about the millionaires being assholes and being distasteful. And don't get me wrong, good topic to talk about. I like the idea of the millionaires and having like these characters be it. And now they're trying to buy the Arconia because they want to turn it into a casino, and people are selling their flats because it's the murder building. It just doesn't click that that's the way you approach it. I think they should have focused a little bit more on the mafia aspect. The mafia aspect that has been set up that can be paid off. There's just work to do with that whole aspect. Where's the bamboo? There's 5 bamboo in this entire forest. Holy shit. I also got here at night, so. And ultimately, what remains is me thinking to myself, this season just felt like a downgrade. The character arcs didn't work. The mystery didn't work. It's like, oh man, there were so many directions they could have taken it into and still have it function as a season. And it just wasn't quite there. Now, I do want to shout out. Yes, I recorded a bit and then didn't realize the recording was paused. I do want to point out that I really like that one episode where Meryl Streep, Loretta and Oliver, they go to like the theater. They go to like Oliver's childhood home and they kind of experience it because Loretta's house burns down. I don't like that they reverted some of the things they set up from last season. And I mean, I really, really, really enjoy Loretta's character. So no complaints for me there. By the way, I love Glow Squid with the mod that makes. I mean, it's a data pack, but it's like they actually glow. This is what we wanted. This is the reason why people voted for these bitches because they thought, oh, dynamic lighting. And then there was no dynamic lighting. It was all a joke. It's all a meme. So it was all a lie perpetuated by the state. But yeah, I did really like that episode, and I like seeing more about Loretta. Just because in general, Loretta has been a really solid character. Beyond the performance by Meryl Streep, which, I mean, it's Meryl Streep. She's killing it. But like beyond the performance of the character, you gotta admit, it can get quite good. This is some shit loot. Give me the soup. Oh, I'm gonna need more saplings from jungle. Good that I noticed before I went. Hold on. I want to drink the soup. I want to drink the soup that either makes you feel good or feel bad. Oh, my bones are brittle and I want to die. All right. But I did appreciate that episode. Oh, oh, hold on. What's happening to my keybind? Why can't I throw? It's not letting me throw shit. Why can't I throw this? Huh? Why didn't it let me throw it? Weird. I did quite like that episode with Loretta and Oliver. That to me was a really strong episode. I like the character writing there. So it's like I want more of that, but that whole entire thing felt like a detour. And I think that's the main thing that I didn't like about this season. Everything about this season feels like a detour because the actual crime is really, really silly. During a wedding, somebody hit the doorman on the head. And the doorman even wrote the name of the killer, but badly on the white. Oh my god, that was such a weak thing. So near the end of the case, they reveal the whole, oh, he actually just dead ass wrote who killed him through us on WhatsApp. That felt weak. That felt stupid. That felt like they wanted a gotcha moment and they realized they didn't write one into the story. And they were like, quickly, just shove it in there. And that is a really bad way of doing it, I'm not gonna lie. I didn't at all like the way they decided to handle that. Because it just feels dumb. It feels like they wanted to address the whole, like, thing with, oh, why don't they just more often write it, they're gonna research your murder, so just write at them and be like, hey, guys, James is following me with intent to kill. Oh, well. Now we know it was James who did it. It feels like because the writers don't know what to do, the murders also don't know what to do. It just sticks out. But that's weird, because weirdly enough, I feel like a lot of people would prefer this season the grass cocoa, the grass cocoa. Weirdly, I feel like people will like this season more than season 4. Whereas I personally didn't like season 5 at all. And season 4 to me is one of the better ones. Because I just really like the mystery. And I guess it has a lot to do with preference in Only Murders in the Building. It's one of those shows where even if like the fifth season in my case or the fourth season wasn't it for you, I still kind of want to watch it, right? Oh, oh, I thought that was one of those new biomes that you never see. I don't know. I personally really dug. I still really like the show, even if they're blundering a lot of the blood beads and murders. It's just neat to see a show that's just enjoyable, even if it isn't at all perfect. Because let's be clear, it's extremely flawed. The show has so many flaws. But I think the flaws also give it like its own vibe and personality. It's one of those things that's like because the show is not clean at all with the writing and the things it do, it just manages to work well in its own way. And you can admit that it's always commendable when shows manage to do that, right? To just be enjoyable even through the shit. Last time I saw a show that I watched despite the shit, I was not enjoying it at all. I was watching Miraculous Ladybug. So, I mean, maybe that says something about my tastes. All right. Well, I need to start heading back home, and I don't know how. Oops. Give me my coordinates. But yeah, I'll see you all next time when I talk about other things. Bye.